What is going on, beautiful people? I hope you are having a fantastic day. Welcome back to another episode of the Thrive Forever Fit Show. As always, I'm grateful for you. I'm pumped that you're here. And the fact that you spend your time listening to me rant and rave is unbelievably amazing to me. And I couldn't be more grateful for it. Secondarily, this podcast is sponsored by a brand new product that I have just released to the market. It's called Elite Collagen. If you're not taking a collagen product, then you just don't care about your healthy skin, your healthy hair, your healthy nails, your joints, your cardiovascular health, just your overall body wellness. Collagen is an amazing product that is going to help with everything. And listen, I mean, you're exposed to a lot of elements. Why not internally fortify your system with a beautiful collagen? But here's the situation. Some of you guys are no, hey, bud, I'm already taking a collagen. Appreciate you. Got you. I got bad news. The problem is this. Most collagen powders are just that. They're powdered collagens, and they're made from bovine, which is cows, or porcine, which is pig's skin. Have you ever seen a cow's skin or a pig's skin? Some of them are plant-derived. We won't even get into those. The collagen, it's not even really a collagen product. It's a makeup of stuff that tries to become collagen. But if you're taking a collagen powder, one of those big, hefty collagen, gross, chalky, whatever it is, just know that it's coming from skin of cows and pigs. And of course, they wash them. But if you've ever been at a pig farm or a cow farm, not the most savory of things. My collagen is a marine-based collagen. And here's the big thing. Forget all the other shit I've already said. Here's the differentiation between mine and the one you're already taking. Mine is half a tablespoon every day. It's a delicious chocolate mint flavor. And here's the big stuff. Here's the real deal. Here's what nobody's telling you. The powdered collagens get broken down inside of the gastrointestinal stomach, inside of the stomach. That's not where collagen gets absorbed. Collagen actually gets absorbed and has a higher efficacious benefit if it's absorbed in the small intestine. Well, see, mine passes through the stomach based on a beautiful collection of polymers and a collection of these peptides. If you heard that, that's just Rudy taking a sneeze. He likes to be introduced in some of these podcasts, and I didn't give him a proper shout out. But my collagen actually passes through the stomach and gets digested inside of the small intestine, which is where all the magic happens. Your powdered product's not even making it there. So you're getting very minimal, if any, efficacious effects from drinking that chalky, gross tasting powder product. So if you're interested, just go to thriveforeverfit.com, go to my store. You'll see Elite Collagen on there. You can pop me a note. I'll give you all the details. It is unbelievably amazing. I've been taking it for a while because I've been testing it and creating it and everything. Guys, it is revolutionary and it is unbelievable. I can't wait for you to try it. Elite Collagen. Go grab yourself some today. Take care of your skin. Dr. Bill, welcome to the Thrive Forever Fit Show. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, man, I'm doing awesome. I'm super excited to have you on the show. I was thinking about, you're my first dentist, and I've got a massive fear of dentists. So the only worst scenario I could think for myself was to actually have Jaws on the podcast, and that's, not going to happen. So I appreciate you showing up for me today.
Well, I promise I won't scare you.
I appreciate that. I'm sure you get that a lot. You know what I mean? And that was one of my questions. It's like, obviously you're a celebrity dentist, extreme makeover. I mean, world renowned dentist. Like, how did this all start? Did you know you wanted to be a dentist when you were a little guy, or just kind of fall into it?
I mean, it's funny that you use the phrase fall into it, because that's exactly what I did. Okay. I was a little guy playing around and I knocked out all my baby teeth. And we just had a great family dentist who kind of lined everything up so that my permanent teeth would come out right. And I was just super appreciative. And I don't know, I guess a lot of kids would have been petrified of the experience. I was actually fascinated by how he fixed me, and then I just became enamored with dentistry. I would go in there, and I'm the oldest of 5. I would go in there and watch him work on my little brothers and my sister, and I don't know, it just stuck.
Yeah, well, I mean, it sounds like you use the word again, you fell into like something you're super passionate about, because as a kid, for me, like I've had crooked teeth my whole life because I was terrified of the dentist, and so you kind of had a the opposite experience, whereas you were kind of fascinated. So that's pretty cool.
Well, are they still crooked?
Yeah.
Dude, do Invisalign. It's the easiest thing in the world.
You know what? Everybody says that. I mean, they're pretty crooked, Doc. I don't even know. My bottom teeth are really crooked. I don't even know if Invisalign would work. But you're right. I should definitely.
You go
look into
to
that.
a good Invisalign dentist. What area do you live in?
Palm Springs, California.
I'll find you one. If you go to a good Invisalign dentist, they can do pretty much whatever you could do with braces with Invisalign these days. It's unbelievable. It's really great. So if you don't like it, fix it.
You know what? I've kind of grown to just being used to it, but sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, you know, it would be nice to have straighter teeth, you know, but so good suggestion. You know what? My wife has done Invisalign. She loves it. So, and her teeth have gotten straighter. So I've got an in-house testimonial. So you're right. If I'm going to complain about it, I need to do something about it.
Yeah, it's a choice.
There you go. So let's talk about like, so from where you were, now, where'd you grow up? What kind of town did you grow up in? To like, now you're, you know, you live in Hollywood or, you know, Beverly Hills, and you're, you know, at the, you know, probably the coolest dentist on the planet, if we just want to be, you know, honest.
Well, I grew up a very humble beginning. It was in Granada Hills. Two famous people came from my high school that you would know of, John Elway and Valerie Bertinelli.
Okay.
Ironically, when I got to UCLA, my roommate was Michael Harrington. His father, Pat Harrington, was on the show with Valerie Bertinelli called One Day at a Time. It was a Norman Lear show, which was just kind of a small world coincidence. And Mike is still my best friend all these years later. So,
you know what's funny? One of my good friends, Brent, is actually Norman Lear's right-hand guy.
No kidding.
Yeah. So that's a very small world.
When Michael's father, Pat, passed away, I was very close with Pat as well. He asked me to do a eulogy and speak at his father's funeral. So first Norman Lear spoke, then Ed Asner spoke, and then Dr. Bill.
Now at that time, were you the Dr. Bill of today, or were you just?
Oh yeah, this was only a few years ago, but still, it's pretty intimidating to follow Norman Lear and
absolutely.
But
absolutely,
it was a really beautiful event. They did it at the Directors Guild on Sunset. There are about 2,000 people in there.
That is amazing. So humble beginnings. Decided you want to be a dentist. How did you? You know, there's a lot of dentists, right? But there's not a lot of dentists that have been on, you know, one of the most popular, I'd say, makeover shows ever. I mean, I remember watching it. That was my first introduction to you. I mean, I didn't know who Dr. Bill Dorfman was, but I'm like, I mean, this dude's changing people's lives just by, you know, changing their smiles. Like, how'd you go from just regular dentistry to getting the call to do that?
It was really fortuitous. So I went to Granada Hills High School. I finished dental school. I did a 2-year residency in Switzerland. I came back, and a woman I went to high school with came in one day and needed a lot of dental work. And when I told her what the cost was going to be, she said, "Hey, would you be open to bartering?" I said, "What do you do?" She says, "I'm a publicist." I'm like, "Well, why would I need that?" Yeah. So she convinced me to hire her, and it was the smartest thing I ever did. I mean, no dentist in Century City, Beverly Hills was media savvy enough to do that. And I was really fortunate that she had the foresight. So she started pitching me to all these talk shows to come and talk about teeth. Yeah. And, you know, as I started to garner a little more experience, at some point I got a phone call from ABC telling me that they wanted to do this new reality show called Extreme Makeover. And at first I was a bit skeptical. I was worried that they might, you know, kind of, I don't know, reality TV was in its infancy. It had just started. And, you know, I wanted to make sure that, you know, that I was going to come off in a good light. I didn't want them to exploit the patients. Like, there were a lot of questions. So I went and I met with them, and I liked where they were coming. They were very heartfelt. And in fact, the company was called Lighthearted Entertainment. Howard Schultz and Jackie Pittman, not Starbucks Howard Schultz.
Right.
And I'm still very close with Jackie. I'll tell you a funny anecdotal story about that in a little bit. But Howard Schultz, unfortunately, we lost. And they told me the concept for the show, and so I went out and I did a screen test for them. And I don't know why they hired me, because I really stunk. But we shot the pilot, and in the pilot, they just had me do Zoom tooth whitening. I invented Zoom. I love just telling people I invented Zoom, and then wait till the shock wears off, and then I have to say, okay, tooth whitener. But I invented Zoom tooth whitening, and we get picked up for our first season of 24 episodes. Well, the first patient in the first episode needed 20 porcelain veneers. Wow. And so at the time I was charging $1,500 a tooth. So that was $30,000. So I sent an invoice to ABC before I started, and they freaked out. And they called me like, Dr. Bill, are you kidding? Right. Like, we didn't budget this much for dentistry. And don't forget, they were paying the plastic surgeons, the waitress, the makeup artist, the hair. Like, everybody on the show is getting paid. They're like, we didn't budget $30,000 for teeth. Right. So what do you want me to do? They said, can you just do 3 veneers? I'm like, her teeth are black.
Yeah, no.
Hey, I'm like, no. And so I tell kids at LEAP, and we'll talk about LEAP in a minute.
Yeah.
You will have life-defining moments. And I had one. And I said, I'll tell you what, I'll do all the dentistry for free under the following 3 conditions. Number 1, I'm the only dentist. Number 2, you have to, when they did the show, there were like 20 plastic surgeons. There was only 1 dentist. Number 2, you need to mention Da Vinci veneers as Da Vinci veneers, not just porcelain veneers, because I don't want to do the case for free and then have a $20,000 lab bill. And number 3, you need to highlight Zoom tooth whitening in every episode. They said, fine. So my agent put it in my contract, and it was the smartest decision I ever made, because you could never do that in reality TV today, ever.
Right.
Especially on a primetime TV show.
I mean, this is a big show. This wasn't like some rinky-dink like network you've never heard of. Like, that's a massive.
Yeah, I mean, you have to understand, this is the first time ever that dentistry is highlighted on primetime TV in a positive light. It wasn't Marathon Man or Little Shop of Horrors or some crazy thing. This is like dentistry at its best, right? And ABC signed off on it. And the net result was, for all of your business entrepreneurs out there, we built our company, Discus Dental, from 0 to $1.3 billion in sales before selling it, and with no investors, nobody, just me and my partners. And, our trajectory was, 2 million, 4 million, 8 million. And we kind of plateaued at 65 million. The year I went on ABC's show, we hit 101 million. The next year we did 136. And my 3rd year on the show, we did almost $200 million in sales in 1 year. Wow. So ABC didn't pay me, but it was a good deal.
But you got paid.
Yeah, it was a great deal. And, and I became literally the most famous dentist in the world. Yeah. And I will tell you this, when kids come to LEAP, I always say, if I can have them walk away with 2 things, I feel like I did my job. LEAP is a motivational leadership program we do at UCLA for kids 15 to 25. And the 2 things I want them to embrace, if nothing else, is number 1, don't wait for opportunities in life, make them. If I meet another millennial who tells me they're waiting for the universe to do something for them, I just want to scream and bang my head on the wall. The universe is really busy and doesn't care about you. You need to care about you. And number two, when you do get an opportunity, don't take it, master it.
Love it. Yeah.
You know, when ABC gave me that opportunity, I will be honest with you. If you watch the first 2 or 3 episodes, I stunk like deer in headlights bad.
Yeah.
I mean, dentistry, easy. TV, no, they don't
Right.
teach you how to be on TV in dental school.
Right.
And they literally should have fired me. But at least I was smart enough to know how bad I was that I did something about it. I took acting classes, hosting classes, teleprompting classes. I mean, when I'm on the doctors, a lot of times I host the show. I mean,
Yeah.
I have that much media experience. I can do that now. And that was not like a natural gift. I was not gifted. I was the opposite. Literally like a deer in headlights. But I learned what I needed to do. And I did that just like when we started Discus. You know, I sat in our first few board meetings. I felt like a complete moron. I didn't know what EBITDA meant. I didn't know what these charts meant and these graphs. They don't teach you that in dental school. They teach you endo, perio.
Right.
You know, I mean, but I realized in order for me to be useful on my board, I needed more education. So I went back to school. I took business classes at UCLA. I took extension courses in accounting and bookkeeping and all these things that they don't teach you in dental school. So, you know, the average person that graduates college today will probably have more than 3, 4, 5, 6 different jobs. Yeah. It wasn't like that with my generation. You were a dentist, you were a lawyer, and that's all you did. It's not like that anymore. So you got to be nimble. You got to be able to reinvent yourself, and you need to continue to learn and learn and learn. My mantra for life: learn so you can earn and then return. And I'm in the return phase. Yeah. You know, my career has been more than I ever anticipated it would be in my life. I have been so incredibly fortunate. I think I wake up the most gracious person I know. I mean, it's really been a phenomenal ride. And every time I think we've gotten to the highest pinnacle, like something else spectacular happens that, you know, it's just such a thrill. And I think that if you continue to learn and grow throughout your life, you'll have so much fun and hopefully, you know, make a lot of money along the way.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 1,000%. I mean, that was very, I've got another question about LEAP, but before I ask you, I assume before you started the show, you weren't doing celebrity teeth. You weren't getting calls from the A-list celebrities in Hollywood. Do you remember the first call you got from the first celebrity that was like, hey, I'd like you to?
No, that's not true.
Oh, is it not? Okay, cool. That was my assumption.
I mean,
cool.
I didn't start booking all these celebrity patients because of Extreme Makeover.
Okay, cool.
What happened is early off in my career, I was dating a young woman who worked at Triad Artists, which is now part of William Morris. And we were all in our 20s, you know, and so I knew her and all her friends. Well, all of those people are still my friends, and they're the biggest agents in Hollywood.
Okay.
I mean, so they all came to me. Then all their clients came to me, and then their clients referred clients who referred clients, like Jason Phelps, who's the CEO of Virgin, right? Yep. Virgin Entertainment. You know, he started coming to me, and then he sent me Jessica Simpson. Well, Jessica Simpson was getting married to Nick Lachey. So I started treating Jessica and Nick, and I'm on their show. I'm not like exposing any HIPAA violations here because this was all on TV, right? So, you know, so Jessica and Nick are coming to me, and, you know, and then they get divorced, and then Nick starts doing the sing-off, and then Nick broke a tooth during the sing-off. So he comes in and introduces me to pentatonics. So I start treating all the pentatonics, and then Jessica Simpson's best friends with Katy Perry, and then Katy Perry's best friends, you know, and it's just like, it just keeps networking and growing and growing and growing. And so, it's been a riot. Was treating the Osborns since I started my practice, and Sharon and Ozzy refer me, like everybody from Lemmy to, I mean, you name it. Like, it was awesome.
That's so cool. My sister-in-law actually used to work for the Osborns. What you've done is you take advantage of opportunities in the lifetime of the opportunity. Like you seem to be, I think, life favors the prepared, and you've done the things necessary to put yourself in positions to take advantage. Because you said a while ago, like, don't just take advantage of it, but master it. And that's really what you've done. That's pretty awesome, man. And then, so is that why you've created Leap? Because you see this need for that kind of progression in the world that we're living in today?
The reason I created Leap is that about 20 years ago, I was asked to come as a mentor to a program and speak to kids in a program very similar to Leap. And I did that for about 5 years, and I loved it. I just loved it. And the founder of that program was in his 80s and passed. And I thought, this is too important to die with him. So I resurrected Leap. I renamed it. I made it a 501c3 nonprofit. And for the last 15 years, we've done a program. It was a little hard, in 2020, it was virtual. 2021, it was really small. This year, we had 250 kids at UCLA. We normally have 450. Next year, we will have 450. But we had awesome speakers this year. Paula Abdul, she comes every year. I had Michael Jackson come and speak.
Okay, that's a tough draw. Yeah, it's a hard get.
Well, Prince, his son, is Michael Jackson Jr., and he wants to go by Michael Jackson now. So we had Prince Jackson speak and Richard Branson, and it was pretty awesome. And in the past, I've had Mark Wahlberg, Anthony Hopkins, Eva Longoria, Usher, Jason Alexander, Michael Strahan, Kathy Bates. I mean, on and on and on.
Yeah.
I mean, we get amazing speakers, and the program is phenomenal. 60% of the kids come on scholarship. These are A students that come from impoverished families that get to come to the program. And it's just, kids will say every year, it was the best week of their year. They love it. And if I can share something with you,
absolutely can.
One of the things we teach the kids to do is to write what are called I appreciate notes. And, let me see if I can bring this up. These kids, I always say that, the last year we did Leap, I had 450 kids, at Leap. And I can't get that it's on my phone. Wait, actually, it's on my desk too. Hold on a second.
All right.
And out of the 450 kids, I got 450 I appreciate notes.
Oh, that's cool.
And where's one?
I assume this is, I don't assume, I can pretty much guarantee this is a life-changing thing for these kids. They've probably never been exposed to this kind of leadership or motivation or success.
That's the thing. And so these kids write these I appreciate notes. And I always say, 99% of the kids will write me a note. And they look like this. 99% of the kids will write me a note saying, hey, Dr. Bill, Leap changed my life.
That's pretty cool.
And I say 99% because 1% will write this. Dear Dr. Bill, man, your words have helped me so much. This is from a 16-year-old boy from Canada. Not long ago, I was in a really bad state. one where I thought I might take my life. I didn't know if I would be here another day. I genuinely feel like this program helped save me. I know it sounds crazy, but I've never been so inspired in my whole life. The words, the wisdom, and the people that I met at this program have really given me a purpose for living that I had given up hope on. The opportunities given to me now seem endless. I wasn't really sure about going here at first, but this has really been one of the greatest things I've ever gotten as a gift. I finally want to start my own business. His writing's hard to read. And again, become mentored and be a mentor. I want to be great. I want to be here, and I want to be alive.
Wow.
He says, I am forever grateful for you and for Leap. Thank you for being here. Thank you for what you do.
I mean, that's unreal, man. Yeah. I
It's
mean,
always
if
a
that
tear
doesn't
for
bring a
butt.
tear, well, yeah, I mean, if that didn't bring a tear to your eye, and I mean, I got goosebumps all over. I mean, isn't that why we're here? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of kids come into this program and they have no direction. They have no hope. They have no one in their corner rooting for them. I always tell people the greatest gift you can ever give a kid is confidence.
yeah,
Confidence is currency. And, that's the greatest thing my parents gave me. They made me know that whatever I wanted to do, if I put my heart and soul into it, I mean, within reality, I could never be an NBA basketball player.
right.
I'm only 5'10" and I can't dribble a basketball. But within reality, the realm of reality,
Right.
if you put your heart and soul into something, you can do it. And the very first thing I do with these kids when they get there is I said, look, whether you think you did this or not, you woke up this morning and you put a number on your forehead. 1's the lowest, 10's the highest. I said, raise your hand. If I said, I want you to feel on your forehead. And if you didn't feel a 10 up there, raise your hand. And these kids raise their hand. And then I look out in the audience and I say, who picked the number? You. Did you have to take a test? Did you have to do anything? I said, wipe it off, write a 10 on your hand, slap it on there, and I want you to put it on there and act like a 10, walk like a 10, talk like a 10, but most importantly, surround yourself with other kids that are 10s. Because if you're trying to be a 10 and everybody around you is a 2, guess what happens?
Yeah, you downgrade to the 2 level.
That's right. And so we call it the 10 culture. And the ironic thing about that, my friend, is we grew Discus Dental from 0 to $1.3 billion and sold Discus Dental to Philips on 10, 10, 10 at 10 a.m.
Oh, that's wild. That's pretty cool.
The merger documents came in at 9 in the morning. I had them all done. And I was just about to push the button. I'm like, I gotta wait till 10. Now I could have waited to 10:10,
yeah,
but it was hard enough waiting till 10.
I was about to say that's a big deal. Let's don't press it.
But I'll tell you the crazy thing about that. I grew up really poor. I mean, I always knew as a dentist, I would be comfortable. My wife, my kids, they would have, things I didn't have growing up. I never in my life ever imagined that I could push a button on my computer and all of a sudden my bank account would light up like the Christmas tree in Times Square, like ever, and it was a life changer. I mean, people say, oh, money doesn't bring you happiness. BS.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, those people are poor and just don't think things through. Okay, I know a lot of very wealthy people are miserable. Yeah. I get it. It doesn't buy you happiness. But I also know being broke poor is not fun.
Right.
Like, I don't care if you absolutely don't have any money at all, it's pretty hard to be happy. So
Agreed.
the one thing for me that I think money enabled me to do was to live a life where I could really make a difference in the world,
Yeah.
you know? And, for people who become wealthy and don't help other people, I have no respect for that. I really don't. I feel like, you know, that's an obligation of wealth. If you can, help make this world a better place, you should. And I think that we all need to do that. And it doesn't have to come through money,
Yeah.
I mean, you can donate time, you can donate energy, there's a lot of things you could donate. So it isn't all monetary, but if you go through this world without having made it a better place, I feel like it's a waste.
I couldn't agree with you. But Dr. Bill, you're a cool dude, man. Like, I knew you were going to be a good guy, but I didn't know you were going to be this cool. And I really appreciate everything you've said. I mean, you took the words.
But you know what?
Yeah.
It's not what you say, it's what you do.
Well, no, I agree.
Because, especially being a parent, I mean, you live in a fishbowl. I don't know if you have kids or not, but, it doesn't matter what you tell your kids, it's what you show your kids.
Agreed.
And I mean, it's like, the dad who's sitting here smoking, telling his kid, don't ever smoke. It's the stupidest thing in the world. Like, really? That's the message you're giving your kid while you're smoking? Right. I mean, my kids grew up completely different than I. They grew up in Beverly Hills. I grew up in Granada Hills, and I started taking my kids on humanitarian mission trips when they were 3 and 4 years old, where we were literally doing dentistry in the jungle for kids that had never seen a dentist in their life. Yeah. And it was really life-changing. And I think it gave my kids values that a lot of their kids in Beverly Hills will never have.
Agreed. That's a great transition. We're almost out of time, and I want to touch on your health and fitness, because you're in great shape. Most guys your age aren't in great shape. I mean, I think as a society, we're kind of like going the other way. What's been the driving force that has kept you so invested in your health and your fitness and working out and eating clean and doing all those things?
It's funny. It started in dental school, and I realized, I'm looking for a picture. That's why I'm looking down here. I realized in dental school that if I didn't really take care of myself and work out and stay fit, I couldn't do dentistry. My back hurt, my shoulders hurt, my neck hurt, like everything just hurt. And so, I started going to the gym on a regular basis, and it just never stopped. So I go to the gym, pretty much every day. At the beginning of the pandemic, I did a layout for Men's Health.
No way! Look at you, dude.
I mean, and then GQ.
That is so awesome. Yeah, I've started following you on Instagram, and I've watched all your videos and stuff like that. I mean,
yeah, but you know how old I am, right?
Tell me.
63, buddy.
Okay, I was gonna guess 60. That was gonna be just based on trying to do the math in my head.
63.
Well, that is awesome, dude.
And I'm stronger than most guys in their 20s.
Yeah.
Like, I go to the gym with my buddies, they're in their 20s, and they're like, Doc. But it's because I go every day. It's a part of my life.
It's a lifestyle.
So
yeah.
I don't think that fitness is an option. I think it's a necessity. In order for me to do and be who I am and what I do, I need to be fit. I need to be strong, So, I go every day. In fact, as soon as we get done with this podcast, off to the gym. I want to leave with a few things. I also have my podcast. It's called Meet the Mentor. And because we got to interview so many amazing people from LEAP, we put this podcast out. We're in the top 2.5% of all podcasts worldwide. We're also in the top 100 in over 150 different countries. And some months I'm like number one in like Finland. I don't know why Finland, but anyhow, there's some really, really cool interviews in there. And if any of your listeners have kids that are 15 to 25 and want more information about LEAP, this was last year. The new dates are July 16th to the 22nd, I believe, but they can get information at www.leapfoundation.com. And every year we knock it out of the park with this program. And hopefully, some of your listeners will send their kids.
And you know what? I'll link all this in the show notes and in the social media and everything that we're doing, Doc, so that everybody can easily find, all.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Just want to say thank you to you, man. And like I said a while ago, I mean, I don't say that a lot. I'm overly impressed. I thought I would be, but overly impressed with your just everything you're bringing to the table, man. I really appreciate you as a human.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Doc,
and also as a final note, I'm one of the only people I think who actually answers their own DMs on Instagram. So if any of your listeners want to get a hold of me, it's just Dr. Bill Dorfman, Dr. Bill Dorfman. And I promise you that's really me. It's not somebody I hired to answer them. I'm definitely cool. There and will answer.
I love that about you, man. That's so awesome. Doc, have an awesome day. Have a great workout. And I just really appreciate you doing this for me today. Have an awesome
day. All right. Thank you.
See you, bud.
Bye.
Hey, before you go, I'd just like to say thank you again for listening to the Thrive Forever Fit podcast and watching on YouTube. It means the absolute world to me. And if you would do me one favor, and that is simply subscribe and review this podcast on whatever platform it is that you enjoy it on, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, doesn't matter. I would absolutely be so grateful and so thankful if you do that for me. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you again next week with an awesome, awesome episode. Bye.